بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Chapter 16. The Bee. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. The event ordained by Allah will come to pass, so do not seek to hasten it. Glorified and exalted be He above all that they associate as partners with Him. He sends down the angels with inspiration of His command, to whom of His slaves He pleases, saying, Warn mankind that none has the right to be worshipped but I. So fear me by abstaining from sins and evil deeds. He has created the heavens and the earth with truth. Exalted is He above all they associate as partners with Him. He has created man from a tiny drop. Then this same man becomes an open opponent. And the livestock, He has created them for you. In them there is warmth and numerous benefits, and of them you eat. And in them is a luxury for you, when you bring them home in the evening, and as you lead them forth to pasture in the morning. And they carry your loads to a land that you could not reach except with great trouble to yourselves. Truly your Lord is full of kindness, most merciful. And He has created horses, mules and donkeys, for you to ride and as an adornment. And He creates other things of which you have no knowledge. And upon Allah is the responsibility to explain the straight path of Islamic monotheism for mankind, and to show them legal and illegal, good and evil things. So whosoever accepts the guidance, it will be for his own benefit. And whosoever goes astray, it will be for his own destruction. And there are ways that turn astray. And had He willed, He would have guided all of mankind. It is He who sends down water from the sky. From it you drink, and from it grows the vegetation on which you send your cattle to pasture. With it He causes to grow for you the crops, the olives, the date palms, the grapes, and every kind of fruit. Indeed, in this is an evident proof and a manifest sign for people who give thought. And He has subjected for you the night and the day, the sun and the moon, and the stars, subjected by His command. Surely in this are proofs for people who understand. And whatever things He has created for you on this earth are of varying colors. Indeed, in this is a sign for people who remember. And it is He who has subjected the sea to you, so that you eat of it fresh tender fish, and that you bring forth out of it ornaments to wear. And you see the ships roaming it, that you may seek of His bounty by transporting your goods from place to place, and that you may be grateful. And He has affixed into the earth mountains standing firm, lest it should shake with you, and rivers and roads, that you may guide yourselves, and landmarks, and by the stars mankind guide themselves. Is then He who creates as one who creates nothing? Will you not then remember? And if you could count the graces of Allah, never would you be able to count them. Truly, Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. And Allah knows what you conceal and what you reveal. Those whom the polytheists, pagans, and disbelievers in Allah invoke besides Allah have not created anything, but are themselves created. They are dead, lifeless, and they do not know when they will be raised up. Your God is one God, Allah. None has the right to be worshipped but He. But for those who do not believe in the hereafter, their hearts deny faith in the oneness of Allah, and they are arrogant. Certainly, Allah knows what they conceal and what they reveal. Truly, He likes not the proud. And when it is said to them, What is it that your Lord has sent down to Muhammad? They say, Tales of the men of old. They will bear their own burdens in full on the day of resurrection, and also the burdens of those whom they misled without knowledge. Evil indeed is that which they shall bear. Those before them plotted indeed, but Allah struck at the foundation of their building, and then the roof fell down on them from above them, and the torment overtook them from directions they did not perceive. Then, on the day of resurrection, He will disgrace them and will say, where are my so-called partners, concerning whom you used to disagree and dispute with the believers by defying and disobeying me? Those who have been given the knowledge about the torment of Allah for the disbelievers will say, indeed, disgrace this day and misery are upon the disbelievers. Those whose lives the angels take while they are doing wrong to themselves by disbelieving and by associating partners in worship with Allah, and by committing all kinds of crimes and evil deeds. They will make false submissions, saying, we never did any evil. The angels will reply, yes, truly, Allah is all-knower of what you used to do, so enter the gates of hell, to abide there forever. And indeed, what an evil abode it is for the arrogant. And when it is said to those who are pious, what is it that your Lord has sent down? They say, that which is good. For those who do good in this world, there is good, and the home of the hereafter will be better. And excellent indeed will be the home of paradise for the pious. They will enter gardens of eternity in paradise, under which rivers flow, and there they will have all that they wish. Thus Allah rewards the pious, those whose lives the angels take while they are in a pious state, pure from all evil, and worshipping none but Allah alone, saying to them, peace be upon you, enter paradise, because of the good that you did in the world. Do the disbelievers and polytheists wait until the angels come to them to take away their souls at death? Or there should come the command of the torment of the day of resurrection of your Lord? Thus did many before them, and Allah did not wrong them, but they used to wrong themselves. Then the evil results of their deeds overtook them, and that which they used to ridicule surrounded them. And those who join others in worship with Allah say, if Allah had so willed, neither we nor our fathers would have worshipped anything but Him, nor would we have forbidden anything without command from Him. So said those before them. Then, are the messengers charged with anything but to convey the message clearly? And indeed, we have sent among every nation a messenger proclaiming, worship Allah alone, and keep away from all false deities. Then of them were some whom Allah guided, and of them were some upon whom the straying was justified. So travel through the land, and see what the end of those who denied the truth was. If you, O Muhammad, are anxious for their guidance, then indeed Allah does not guide those whom He makes go astray, and none can guide him whom Allah sends astray, and they will have no helpers. And they swear by Allah their strongest oaths, that Allah will not raise up he who dies. Yes, He will raise them up, a promise binding upon him in truth. But most of mankind do not know, in order that He may make manifest to them the truth of that in which they differ, and that those who disbelieved in the resurrection and in the oneness of Allah may know that they were liars. Indeed, our word to a thing when we intend it is only that we say, be, and it is. And as for those who emigrated for the cause of Allah after suffering oppression, we will certainly give them goodly residence in this world, but indeed the reward of the hereafter will be greater if they but knew. They are those who remained patient in this world for Allah's sake, and put their trust in their Lord Allah alone. And we did not send as messengers before you, O Muhammad, any but men whom we inspired to preach and invite mankind to believe in the oneness of Allah. So ask of those who know the Scripture, the learned men of the Torah and the Gospel, if you know not. We sent the messengers with clear signs and books, and we have also sent down to you, O Muhammad, a reminder and advice, this Quran, that you may explain clearly to men what is sent down to them, and that they may give thought. Do then those who devise evil plots feel secure that Allah will not sink them into the earth, or that the torment will not seize them from directions they do not perceive, or that He may catch them in the midst of their going to and fro, so that there be no escape for them from Allah's punishment, or that He may catch them with the gradual wasting of their wealth and health. Truly, your Lord is indeed full of kindness, most merciful. Have they not observed things that Allah has created? How their shadows incline to the right and to the left, making prostration to Allah and willingly? And to Allah prostrates all that is in the heavens and all that is in the earth, of the living, moving creatures and the angels. And they are not proud to worship their Lord with humility. They fear their Lord above them, and they do what they are commanded. And Allah said, O mankind, do not take two gods in worship. Indeed, Allah is the one and only God. Then fear me, Allah, much, and me alone, and keep away from all kinds of sins and evil deeds that Allah has forbidden, and do all that Allah has ordained, and worship none but Allah. To Him belongs all that is in the heavens and all that is in the earth, and to Him is sincere devotion obligatory. None has the right to be worshipped but Allah. Will you then fear any other than Allah? And whatever of blessings and good things you have, they are from Allah. Then, when harm touches you, to Him you cry aloud for help. Then, when He has removed the harm from you, some of you associate others in worship with their Lord Allah. So as a result, they deny with ungratefulness all of Allah's favors, which we have bestowed on them. Then enjoy yourselves, your short stay, but you will come to know with regret. And they assign a portion of that which we have provided them to what they do not know of false deities. By Allah, you shall certainly be questioned about all that you used to fabricate. And they assign daughters to Allah. Glorified and exalted be He above all that they associate with Him, and yet for themselves they desire sons. And when the news of the birth of a female child is brought to any of them, his face becomes dark, and he is filled with inward grief. He hides himself from the people because of the evil of that which he has been informed of. Shall he keep her with dishonor, or bury her in the earth? Certainly evil is their decision. For those who do not believe in the hereafter is an evil description, and for Allah is the highest description, and He is the Almighty and All-Wise. And if Allah were to seize mankind for their wrongdoing, He would not leave on the earth a single moving living creature, but He postpones it for them for an appointed term. And when their term comes, neither can they delay it, nor can they advance it an hour or even a moment. They assign to Allah that which they dislike for themselves, and their tongues assert the falsehood that better things will be theirs. No doubt for them is the fire, and they will be the first to be brought to it, and left there neglected. By Allah, we indeed sent messengers to the nations before you, O Muhammad, but Satan made their deeds fair seeming to them. So Satan is their helper today in this world, and theirs will be a painful torment. And we have not sent down this Quran to you, O Muhammad, except that you may explain clearly to them those things in which they differ, and as a guidance and a mercy for a folk who believe. And Allah sends down rain from the sky, and He revives the earth with it after its death. Indeed, in this is a clear proof for people who listen and obey Allah. And indeed, in the cattle there is a lesson for you. We give you to drink of that which is in their bellies, from between digested food and blood, milk, pure and pleasant to drink. And from the fruit of date palms and grapes you derive strong drink and a goodly provision. Indeed, in this is a sign for people who have wisdom. And your Lord taught the bee to build its hives in hills, on trees, and in men's habitation. Then eat of all fruits, and follow the ways of your Lord made easy for you. There comes forth from their bellies a drink of varying color in which is healing for men. Indeed, in this is a sign for people who reflect. And Allah has created you, and He will cause you to die, and of you there are some who are sent back to senility, so that they know nothing after having known much. Truly, Allah is all-knowing, all-powerful. And Allah has preferred some of you above others in wealth and property. Then, those who are preferred will by no means hand over their wealth and properties to those slaves whom their right hands possess, so that they may be equal with them. Do they then deny the favor of Allah? And Allah has made for you wives of your own kind, and has made for you from your wives sons and grandsons, and has bestowed on you good provision. Do they then believe in false deities and deny the favor of Allah by not worshipping Allah alone? And they worship others besides Allah, who do not and cannot bring any provision for them from the heavens or the earth. So do not put forward similitudes for Allah, as there is nothing similar to Him, nor does He resemble anything. Truly, Allah knows, and you do not know. Allah puts forward the example of two men, a disbelieving slave under the possession of another. He has no power of any sort, and the other, a man from amongst the believers, on whom we have bestowed a good provision from us, and he spends of it secretly and openly. Can they be equal? By no means, they cannot. All praises and thanks be to Allah. No, but most of them do not know. And Allah puts forward another example of two men, one of them dumb, who has no power over anything, a disbeliever and a burden to his master. Whichever way he is directed, he brings no good. Is such a man equal to a believer in the oneness of Allah, who commands justice and is himself on a straight path? And to Allah belongs the unseen of the heavens and the earth, and the matter of the hour is not but a blink of the eye away, or even nearer. Truly, Allah is able to do all things, and Allah has brought you out of the wombs of your mothers while you knew nothing. And He gave you hearing, sight, and hearts, that you might give thanks to Allah. Do they not see the birds flying in the midst of the sky? None holds them there but Allah. Indeed, in this are clear proofs and signs for people who believe in the oneness of Allah. And Allah has made for you in your habitations a place of rest, and made for you out of the skins of the cattle tents for dwelling, which you find so light and easy when traveling, and when you stop in your travels. And of their wool, fur, and hair, furnishings and articles of convenience, such as carpets and blankets, a comfort for a while. And Allah has made shade for you out of that which He has created, and has made for you places of refuge in the mountains, and has made for you garments to protect you from the heat and cold, and coats of mail to protect you in your wars. Thus does He perfect His grace on you, that you may submit yourselves to His will in Islam. Then, if they turn away, your duty, O Muhammad, is only to convey the message in a clear way. They recognize the grace of Allah, and yet they deny it by worshipping others besides Allah. And most of them are disbelievers, and deny the prophethood of Muhammad. And remember the day when we shall raise up from each nation a witness, their messenger. Then those who have disbelieved will not be given leave to make excuses, nor will they be allowed to return to the world to repent and ask for Allah's forgiveness of their sins. And when those who did wrong will see the torment, then it will not be lightened for them, nor will they be given respite. And when those who associated partners with Allah see their so-called partners, they will say, Our Lord, these are our partners whom we used to invoke besides you. But they will throw back their word at them and say, Surely you are liars. And they will offer their full submission to Allah alone on that day, and their false deities will vanish from them. Those who disbelieve and hinder men from the path of Allah, for them we will add torment over torment, because they used to spread corruption by disobeying Allah themselves, as well as ordering others to do so. And remember the day when we shall raise up from every nation a witness against them from amongst themselves. And we shall bring you, O Muhammad, as a witness against them. And we have sent down to you the book, this Quran, explaining everything, a guidance, a mercy, and glad tidings for those who have submitted themselves to Allah as Muslims. Indeed, Allah commands justice, the doing of good, generosity to relatives, and He forbids all shameful deeds and injustice and rebellion. He instructs you so that you may receive admonition, and fulfill the covenant of Allah when you have pledged to it, and do not break oaths after you have confirmed them. And indeed, when you have appointed Allah as your guarantor, indeed Allah knows what you do. And be not like her who undoes the thread which He has spun after it has become strong, by taking oaths as a means of deception amongst yourselves, lest a nation be more numerous than another nation. Allah only tests you by this, and on the day of resurrection He will certainly make clear to you that in which you used to differ. And had Allah willed, He could have made you all one nation, but He sends astray whom He wills, and guides whom He wills. But you shall certainly be called to account for what you used to do. And do not make oaths as a means of deception amongst yourselves, lest a foot may slip after being firmly planted, and you may have to taste the evil punishment in this world of having hindered men from the path of Allah, and yours will be a great torment in the fire of hell in the hereafter. And purchase not a small gain at the cost of Allah's covenant. Indeed, what is with Allah is better for you if you did but know. Whatever is with you will be exhausted, and whatever is with Allah will remain. And for those who are patient, we will certainly pay them a reward in proportion to the best of what they used to do. Whoever works righteousness, whether male or female, while he or she is a true believer in the oneness of Allah, indeed, to them we will give a good life in this world, with respect, contentment, and lawful provision. And we shall pay them certainly a reward in proportion to the best of what they used to do. Paradise in the hereafter. So when you want to recite the Quran, seek refuge with Allah from Satan, the outcast. Indeed, he has no power over those who believe and put their trust only in their Lord Allah. His power is only over those who obey and follow Him, and those who join partners with Allah. And when we change a verse of the Quran and supersede it in place of another, and Allah knows the best of what He sends down, the disbelievers say, "You, O Muhammad, are but a forger, a liar." No, but most of them do not know. Say, O Muhammad, the angel Gabriel has brought the Quran down from your Lord with truth, that it may make firm and strengthen the faith of those who believe, and as a guidance and glad tidings to those who have submitted to Allah as Muslims. And indeed, we know that the polytheists and pagans say, it is only a human being who teaches Muhammad. The tongue of the man they refer to is not Arabic, while this Quran is in a clear Arabic tongue. Indeed, those who do not believe in the signs and revelations of Allah, Allah will not guide them, and theirs will be a painful torment. It is only those who do not believe in the signs and revelation of Allah, and who fabricate falsehoods, who are liars. Whoever disbelieved in Allah after his belief, except him who is forced to and whose heart is at rest with faith, but to such as open their hearts to disbelief, on them is wrath from Allah, and theirs will be a great torment. That is because they loved and preferred the life of this world over that of the hereafter. And Allah does not guide the people who disbelieve. They are those upon whose hearts, hearing and sight, Allah has set a seal, and they are heedless. No doubt, in the hereafter, they will be the losers. Then indeed, as for those who emigrate because of persecution, then continue to strive and steadfastly persevere. Indeed, after this, your Lord is oft forgiving, most merciful. Remember the day when every person will come pleading for himself, and everyone will be paid in full for what he did, good or evil, belief or disbelief in the life of this world, and they will not be dealt with unjustly. And Allah puts forward the example of a town, whose community dwelt securely and prosperously, its provision coming to it in abundance from every place. But its people denied the favors of Allah with ungratefulness. So Allah made them taste the extreme of hunger and fear, because of the evil of denying Prophet Muhammad, which they used to do. And indeed, there had come to them Muhammad the Messenger from among themselves, but they denied him. So the torment overtook them while they were polytheists and wrongdoers. So eat of the lawful and good food which Allah has provided for you, and be grateful for the graces of Allah, if it is He whom you worship. He has forbidden for you only the meat of naturally dead animals, blood, the flesh of swine, and any animal which is slaughtered as a sacrifice for other than Allah, or has been slaughtered for idols, or on which Allah's name has not been mentioned while slaughtering. But if one is forced, by necessity, without willful disobedience and not transgressing, then Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. And do not say falsely concerning that which your tongues put forth. This is lawful, and this is forbidden, so as to invent lies against Allah. Indeed, those who invent lies against Allah will never prosper. A passing brief enjoyment will be theirs, but they will have a painful torment. And to those who are Jews, we have forbidden such things as we have mentioned to you, O Muhammad, before. And we did not wrong them, but they used to wrong themselves. Then indeed, as for those who do evil and commit sins and are disobedient to Allah in ignorance, but afterward repent and do righteous deeds, indeed your Lord to such is oft forgiving, most merciful. Indeed, Abraham was an exemplary leader, having all good righteous qualities, obedience to Allah, true in faith, and he was not one of those who were polytheists, idolaters, disbelievers in the oneness of Allah, and those who join partners with Allah. He was thankful for Allah's graces. Allah chose him as an intimate friend, and guided him to the straight path, Islam. And we gave him good in this world, and in the hereafter he shall be of the righteous. Then we have inspired you, O Muhammad, saying, follow the religion of Abraham, the true in faith, the religion of Islamic monotheism, to worship none but Allah. And he was not of the polytheists, idolaters, disbelievers. The Sabbath was only prescribed for those who ended up disputing it, and indeed your Lord will judge between them on the day of resurrection about that in which they used to differ. Invite mankind, O Muhammad, to the way of your Lord Islam, with wisdom and fair preaching, and debate with them in a way that is better. Truly your Lord knows best who has gone astray from his path, and he is best aware of those who are guided. And if you punish your enemy, then punish them with the like of that with which you were afflicted. But if you endure patiently, indeed it is better for the patient ones. And endure patiently, O Muhammad. Your patience is not but from Allah. And do not grieve over the polytheists and pagans, and be not distressed because of what they plot. Truly, Allah is with those who fear him, and keep their duty to him, and those who are the doers of good.